What are the general instructions available with respect to long-term borrowings and provisions? We'll see that in this session. Number one, it says that you have to classify the long-term borrowings, because you can have various types of long-term borrowing, so it becomes necessary that you classify them rightly. So to start with, you can have what is known as bonds, you can have debentures, you can have term loans, and again this term loans can be taken from banks, it can be taken from financial institutions, it can be taken from NBFCs. Then we can have deferred payment liabilities. Then we can also have loans and advances from related parties. We can have loans and advances from related parties. Then we can also have long-term leases. So all these will come under long-term borrowings. Okay. Then this is a classification based on the type of the instrument. Okay. We can also classify the long-term borrowings on the basis of security. Okay. On the basis of security, we can classify the long-term borrowings as secured borrowings where securities are given, and you can classify it as unsecured borrowings. Okay. So secured borrowings are those cases where securities are given, and these will specify the nature of security. That is, you have to specify what is the nature of security that is given, whether a land is given as security, whether building is given as security, or whether any deposits are given. So that got to be mentioned. Okay. Then you can also have guaranteed borrowings. So when guarantee is given by the directors, then what was the amount for which the guarantee is given, that should be disclosed. Okay. And in case of bonds and debentures, it should be disclosed in descending order of maturity. That's more important. It should be disclosed in descending order of maturity. And if certain bonds and debentures are redeemed, okay, if certain bonds and debentures are redeemed, and if they can be reissued, then that details can or should be mentioned. That is, if the bonds or debentures are redeemed and if they can be reissued, those details got to be mentioned. And also understand, these long-term borrowings can also be taken from banks in the form of term loans, right? So long-term borrowings can also be taken from banks, and when it is taken from the bank, it will be in the form of a term loan. So when bank gives you a term loan, it will give you a repayment terms. So that repayment terms got to be disclosed. Okay. So when bank gives you the term loan, it will give you the repayment terms. That is, whether it is monthly repayment, quarterly, half-yearly, and what are the terms and conditions, what is the interest rate. So all these got to be disclosed. And if there is any default in repaying the term loan, whether it be interest or the principal, okay, then that got to be disclosed. That is, what is the default in the interest and principal, along with the period of default, for how long this default is continuing. So that should be mentioned. Then you can also have other long-term liabilities, that is, those items which were not discussed. So the other long-term liabilities should be further classified as long-term liabilities for trade purposes, long-term trade payables and others if any, long-term trade payables and others if any.
Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it. If you wish to learn more on this topic, do check our comprehensive online course. I have given the link in the description below. If you like this video lecture, do not forget to click on that like, share and subscribe button with bell icon.